Today we're going to talk about my poop drink. Hey guys, welcome to the Homestead. So I know you're like, what? No, seriously, there's poop in this jar. It's not my poop. It's one of my sheep's poop. And we're using this for, look, my plants. I have plants. And so it's springtime. It's actually May now, and it's still, in my opinion, too early to let my little babies out into the real world of my garden. Now, these are my tomatoes and pepper plants, some of them, and but it's still cold. It got down like 43, maybe almost 42, 41 degrees last night. And it was just too cold, for those, for these little guys to be out there. I'm too worried about, getting close to frost levels. I don't want to stunt their growth. And we have a long growing season here, so I'm not worried at all. And I think some people, they get to, even where I'm at, or even farther north, they want to have their plants yay big by this time. And I'm like, guys, it's a little too early. You have a longer growing season. But I think everyone wants to be the first out of the gate and to show off their big plants and be the first one to get those nice juicy tomatoes off their vines, when in reality you're making sometimes a lot more work for you than you really want, because you're putting these plants out there and then they struggle and they're more susceptible to diseases because you put them out there too early. They're having to deal with the colder temperatures, and it just makes a weaker plant, which doesn't give you a lot of food, and that's the purpose of why you're growing them in the first place. So you have a long growing season. If you have a long growing season, if you're up, north, really far up there like Michigan, Wisconsin, you need to take advantage of every moment that you can. But down here in the South, you've got a long growing season. It's okay. So what we're going to talk about today is, yes, I have my poop drink, my sheep's poop drink, and I have some of my starts out here. Let me show you what I've got, and then I'm going to give you a couple clues on how I start some of my seeds and why I do have this drink going on. So what I've got here is a paper towel, and inside this paper towel are a whole bunch of shishito pepper seeds, and this has been probably one of my best producing peppers I have ever grown on the homestead. The most prolific producer I have ever had, the shishito pepper. Now, it's a smaller pepper, it's more long, it's less round, it's usually sweet. Every once in a while you can find one that's got a little bit of heat in it, a little bit of heat, but normally they're a sweet pepper. And peppers, if you've ever grown peppers, a lot of times you have a longer germination period than most other plants, some plants. And so what I do is I take these and I put them inside of a paper towel. And then I fold that paper towel over, and then I fold it again into fours, and it fits nicely into like a sandwich bag Ziploc. So I get a Ziploc sandwich bag, stuff it in there, and I spray it down heavily with water, and I let it sit in there until they sprout, keeping them in a warm area. A lot of people will use this technique, and they will put them on top of their refrigerator because it has a mild heat on top of a refrigerator, or they'll place them near some other heat source. One winter, I wanted to get started really early, and I started putting these into my clothing, into my coat pockets, and I would keep them on me all day. Just to use my body heat, and it actually worked. I actually sprouted my peppers with body heat because they like heat. They like warmer temperatures in order to sprout. And so what I do now is I just keep them near the fire, the fireplace, or I keep them in a place that's just warmer, or I put them out in the sun during the day inside that Ziploc, and that Ziploc gets really hot. So I have a number of these seeds that are sprouting, and I'm putting them into places. Let me see if I can zoom in and show you a couple of these that are sprouting here real quick. There we go. That's about as close as I can get. I need some better lenses, but I'm using this. Let's see, where's one of them? Here we go. Here's a good one. I'm using this screwdriver to, I don't know if you can see that or not. There we go. It's just starting to sprout. There's a little white thing coming out of there. A little white. See that? Now this guy, he's ready to go in. So let's go ahead and put him inside of some soil. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll take my screwdriver and I'll just take and kind of drill a hole here inside the soil. And I'll place that seed down in there, not too deep. Oop, maybe about 1/4 of an inch. And I'll just cover him up like that with some soil and give him a good spray. There we go, like that. Okay, and then I'll just do that with the rest of these, and I'll just put them in one by one inside of this. And this one here, I've got a few already growing up here on this tray. So I'm kind of opening this up every few days, and whatever ones I see sprouting, I put them in these trays, and they come up. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just using a little bit of screwdriver and digging a little hole and putting each one of those little sprouting seeds in there. And they are, in fact, sprouting up and coming up out of that soil. And that, my friends, is what I do with the majority of my peppers and my tomatoes. I sprout them into paper towels, just like you saw there, and then as they're sprouting, I pick them up and I put them into soil and then allow them to grow. And once they're a certain age, you know, probably next week we're gonna start seeing some really warmer temperatures. Next week, they're gonna go in the garden. They'll be out there on their own from that point on. But until that time, you know, it's getting temperatures down in the 40s, which is not normal for this time of year. We got a little bit of a colder spring. But I think after next week, we're going to be good. And so I'll put those out in the garden. But what about the poop drink? Let me talk about that for a minute. So I had my youngest son earlier yesterday go out and get me a piece of sheep poop, because the sheep run around the homestead, and I have one of the chores that they do is they go around and they pick up the poop to kind of keep it clean. And we save that poop. All of that manure goes into a wheelbarrow, and it gets saved for when I need it for different things around the homestead, because that manure is very valuable. We save our manure here. And so I had him go out and get a piece of poop and put it in this mason jar. And he's like, what am I doing? Why would you want this in a mason jar? Because it's really good fertilizer. And I added water to it and I shook it up. And what I've been doing with this, I have the same piece of poop as a large chunk. And I've been pouring off the liquid into my trays, my seed trays, so that those roots can begin to soak that up and they can get a little bit of a super energized start before they go into my garden. Now, if you go out and you buy those Jiffy Pop trays, these are all Jiffy Pop trays. And a lot of the Jiffy Pop or Jiffy whatever it is, Jiffy something, whatever it is, they always include these little bags of fertilizer. Have you ever read the bag? It says, do not use this indoors. You may become nauseous or you may become lightheaded because of the fumes. Like, what is in this fertilizer that they're giving us for our plants that if I open it up and use it indoors, it's going to make me nauseous? I threw that stuff away. Okay, I don't use that stuff. If it's gonna make me nauseous by opening up the packet, I don't want to use it, because I don't know what chemicals are in there, and they don't tell you what kind of chemicals are in there because it's not a food product. They don't have to tell you what kind of chemicals are in there. So that stuff gets thrown away. I have sheep. I have sheep poop, and I'm not afraid to use it. This stuff is great. This is great for your garden. If you have rabbit poop, even better. But you can use this stuff and make a drink, an energy drink for your plants, and put that on your garden, and man, you're going to get amazing growth out of your plants. And you don't need some crazy superfood, you know, that Jiffy gives you that's got chemicals that you have no idea that could possibly make you sick if you inhale the fumes of those. Insane. Why would anyone use that? But there are people who buy these chemicals and they use them on their plants, and then they grow food with it, and then they eat these plants, and they wonder why they're sick. Okay, if you have animals, this is one of the best ways. I mean, if you have chickens or if you have sheep. Now, chickens, I know they make manure that's a little bit hot on the hot side. You need to let that mellow out and compost maybe for a year. But you can still make a really great compost tea with your animals, whether it's goat, whether it's sheep, whether it's chickens, whether it's cattle, whether it's horses. You know, you can make your own great compost teas with those animals. And I wouldn't recommend using your own. That's a little crazy. But, you know, I have sheep and I'm not afraid to use them. So what kind of plants am I growing here? Well, I've got a number of plants. I have a lot of Arkansas Travelers. I have some different varieties of tomatoes. I think I have a few Cherokee Purples in here. I also have, so this is my main batch. I have about 50 plants here, and I have about spots for about 50 tomato plants. And what I do is I grow a reserve every year, just a little reserve. You know, these are like the reserve replacements. If for some reason something happens to one of these plants, and actually there was a couple here, like this plant over here, if you can see it off, or it is on camera, it got chewed up. I'm like, what happened there? So that one may not make it. And so maybe an insect came along and bit it. Sometimes I put these trays out in the sun, and so something maybe have damaged that. Something came along and did something. So I have reserves here that if I need to replace one of these, I have it right here. I can just pull one of these out and drop it in its place of the plant that was damaged. This one here is like a bean sprout that came up I forgot about it. It was in the tray. It was a late bloomer. All my beans, my bush beans, are already out in the garden right now. But same thing with the peppers. I have a variety of pepper plants. I usually grow more than what I need. Some of these are banana peppers. Some of these are jalapenos. Different rows. I have them all labeled anyway. But different rows, depending on what row it's in. I have jalapenos, I have bell peppers, and I have banana peppers. Plus, I have my shishitos that took a little bit longer to sprout, but they're sprouting up nicely now. And so these shishito peppers are available online at our website, and you can purchase them. So you can see there's a little shishito pepper coming up out of its seed. And there's one right here next to it too. It's also coming up. You can barely see that. But they're coming up. There's another one here. You can see that one right there. It's coming up out of its seed. And so our shishito peppers are germinating nicely. And yeah, if you've never grown these, I absolutely recommend you try and grow these. These are just an amazing producer. I have never found a pepper plant that's a bigger producer than the shishito. The shishito pepper seeds are available at our website at AmericanHomestead.com and AmericanHomestead.com. It's not too late to order these. It's not too late to get started on peppers. You have time. Go ahead and get over to our website at AmericanHomestead.com and order some shishito pepper seeds. And we also have seeds available for our sugarcane and our achicha cucumbers as well. You can purchase those. We have some of those left over at the store. So grab them now while you can. Right now is a perfect time to start getting ready to plant your sugarcane, sorghum. It's a sorghum variety seeds. It's a great time to do that when the weather starts getting warm like it is about to do right now. All right, guys, be sure to check out our Teespring merch. Our best-selling t-shirt, Stupid Should Hurt, is available over at teespring.com. The reason stupid should hurt, the reason why stupid should hurt is because when you get hurt, when you do something stupid, you learn. And today we have a nation full of idiots who haven't learned anything because we've eliminated the hurt from being stupid. Thus, why stupid should hurt. The Stupid Should Hurt shirt is on sale at our website, our Teespring merchandise website. You can check that out. Links in the description below. You can see it for sale. It's our #1 bestseller. People love wearing that shirt. So check it out. All right, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that already. Hit the like button before you go. That tells YouTube that people actually enjoy and watch our channel. And it's a great way you can help out our channel just by hitting that like button. All right, see you next time on the Homestead. Bye. Hey guys, I'm happy to introduce an American Homestead sponsor, Zervita Zeal. Now, first off, I only accept sponsors from products that I use and believe in. My family uses Zeal mainly because we want to ensure a healthy immune system. You see, it's made up of only whole food concentrates and includes no artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. The included sweetener is all natural from fruit and the stevia leaf. It's gluten-free, it's vegan, and it's kosher. In 2018, my youngest son was involved in a bike accident that resulted in the surgical removal of his spleen, and that's an important part of his immune system. And because we live on a farm, you can guess that having a healthy immune system for our family is very important. Some of the included ingredients are beetroot, chicory root, turmeric, moringa, blueberries, cranberry, goji berry, milk thistle, ginseng, alfalfa, broccoli, and so much more. It's these natural ingredients that can easily be made into a powerful and tasty drink that my family can make and feel good about. So sign up and give it a try today. Every purchase you make goes to help the homestead so that we can continue to make great homesteading videos for you. Link is in the description below. Go ahead, give it a try. Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.